Okay, mic check. We're going to talk about anchoring your trading plan, meaning tether it, pin it down so that you do not thesis drift. And thesis drift is very, very bad. We're going to discuss all of this in this video. You don't want to miss this. It's very, very important. So you blew up your trading account. I blew up mine more than once. And if you're watching this, you're probably thinking, there's got to be a better way. There is. And I'm about to give you the one thing that saved my trading career. Most traders think discipline is about willpower. It's not. Willpower runs out. Discipline comes from programming your brain the same way you'd program a computer. And the reason this matters so much is because of one thing that we all deal with: impulsive and intrusive thoughts. Now, don't get spooked by those words. People hear impulsive thoughts or intrusive thoughts and immediately think about disorders, mental health issues. But the truth is, everybody has them. These are the little flashes that pop up in your head all day long. Sometimes they're useful, like when you're in the shower and suddenly the solution to a problem just appears, pops in your head, or when a random business idea hits you out of nowhere on a random walk at the park. That's impulse, that's intrusion. We all get them. It's a gift and it is a curse. In trading, those same impulsive thoughts turn insidious. You got your plan, you're in a trade, and suddenly a thought pops in. Maybe I should widen my stop. That one little thought feels harmless, but it's deadly because what just happened? You drifted. You shifted away from the thesis you started with. You just introduced execution risk. See, a plan with positive expectancy only works if you execute it cleanly. If you were an algorithm, ruthless with entries, ruthless with stops, letting your winners run, you'd be fine. But you're not. You're human, which means instead of just executing, you hesitate, you second guess, you wait for just a little bit more confirmation. By the time you get it, it's too late. Now you're chasing. And in that split second, thought by thought, impulse by impulse, your execution crumbles. That's why self programming is critical because only a thought can fight another thought. You cannot occupy two thoughts in your mind at the same time. If you hold one thought steady in your head, all the other thoughts fall by the wayside. You can't willpower your way through impulses. You have to override them. You have to overwrite them. You have to anchor the right thoughts so deep in your subconscious that they show up automatically in the heat of battle. That's what I did. Exactly what I did. I took basically every trade I made and I cut out all the junk. That means I cut out all the setups that aren't consistent anymore. I isolated only the gold. I only kept the setups that were prone to repeat in favor. These are my A plus setups. I documented everything: entries, exits, position sizing, market conditions, dumped it into basically uh, a raw, free flowing recording. On Apple, if you have an iPhone, you can use the voice memo on the iPhone. And once you record yourself, it automatically transcribes what you say. And then I just copied it and I pasted it into AI. Once I filtered out all my A plus setups, right? All the trades that I've done that I like the results of them and I want to repeat them, replicate them into the future. I went over every detail of each individual trade in this massive dump. Like that's what you need to do. I have so many recordings of this, right? And then I cleaned it all up via AI. And that AI, what AI did for me, and if you're not using AI to clarify your thinking, you are behind. It's 2025. So I use AI to basically take my raw dump while I was going over all the details of my A plus setups, and AI organized it for me, structured it in a clear, concise plan. And AI is not perfect. You can't just take whatever it spits out at you and think that, that's it, your work is done. Because my work was not done. I had to go over the plan line by line by line by line, and then back testing, forward testing, do all of these things, right? Once I pinned down something that produced and I could see it produced the result that I'm like, I'm satisfied with this. That's what I anchored. If you try to anchor and self-program a strategy or a system that has negative expectancy, you're only gonna lose money. Like this only works. Self-programming, like don't try to self-program like some BS uh strategy because you know how that goes. But so once AI gave me the cleaned up recording, it was structured. Not the recording, the AI cleaned up my recording, right? Once it cleaned up and I went line by line and I knew like I was satisfied, I re-recorded my plan. But this time it was structured. It's perfect. It's the cleaned up version that AI gave me. So I basically recorded myself reading it. It took about it's 6 months, 6 minutes long. And every morning before the market opens, I loop it five to six times back to back to back. I don't trade without doing that. Sometimes it runs in the background so quiet, I forget it's there. Like if I'm really, really busy, I'll lower the volume and I'll just, do what I gotta do. But I'm listening to myself tell myself what I need to do, my plan, my strategy, when I'm an enter, when I'm an exit, all of this, right? That repetition is what pins the right thoughts in place so that when the wrong thoughts show up, the intrusive little whispers like maybe move your stop, maybe add more size, maybe skip this entry, they get crushed, absolutely obliterated. The programmed thoughts will win. And there are times where I try to deviate and this negative feeling, like I know I shouldn't be doing this, like that emerges within my body because I've programmed so intensely. Now, this programming creates what I call structure. Let me give you a quick example. When you have structure, it's like this. It's like you're writing on a blank sheet of paper versus a line paper. Without lines, your words drift. With lines, you stay straight. Those lines are your plan. And by lines, I mean like rules. The lines when you're writing on a like a loose leaf paper with the blue lines, it's easier to write straight because those lines, they're like guardrails. You see those lines versus a blank sheet of paper when you try to write, some words will come out bigger than the other words. Uh, you're going to be writing crooked. You don't have any reference point to stay straight or keep your words together. But with the loose leaf paper, you have that structure element. And that's key. That's very, very important. Because you see those lines all the time when you're trading, those lines are the equivalent of your rules. Your rules are the structure. And you need to see those rules ever present. You need to always see them. They need to be there. So just like in the loose leaf paper, those lines only work if you see them all the time. So self-programming, when you self-program your trading plan, it's the equivalent of holding a thought long enough in your head so that no other thought occupies it. It's the equivalent of you always seeing that line, always seeing the structure, always seeing your guardrails. You know your guardrails are there. And so with high repetition, you start to solidify them. That way, impulsive thoughts bump against what you're not supposed to do instead of easing its way into your mind and making you do widening your stops, changing your trades in the heat of battle. That's why it's so, 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 so important to program. And over time, something will shift. Following your plan stops being a fight. It becomes automatic, not because you suddenly got stronger willpower, but because you've been programming your brain day after day, back to back to back. And if you want to level it up, record yourself on video explaining your plan in addition to your audio, and then watch your video. Now you've got audio and visual programming working together. The bottom line is this: structure is everything. Your plan is your structure, but intrusive thoughts are always waiting to pull you off course. The only way to beat them is to fight thought with thought. That's how self-programming works. High repetition, constant reminders until the plan becomes who you are as a trader. This is a core teaching of the blow up recovery protocol.